Hello, Internet. Here we are on the third episode of the Jacob Michael Show. I'm here, as always, with my co-host, Matt Trigar.
Hello.
And
Hello.
we're drinking White Claw, as always. We've gotten down so far in the box that we've gotten to the lime, which, I'm not going to hate on it, but I don't think it's my favorite flavor. But, I'm not hating on it, but I just wish we had black cherry tonight. That's all. Just as a disclaimer. Or mango. Have you tried the mango yet?
No.
The mango is delightful.
I think I had the black cherry, the grapefruit, and then this.
Yeah. We have to find a place because we in Michigan they're everywhere. Like White Claw has taken over Michigan. Los Angeles, not that much. It's hard to find places that.
Is it from the East Coast? Is it? I'm trying to read the.
I don't know where it's from.
Something on the craft. No.
It's all aluminum. Please recycle. So that's
There we
good.
go. There we go.
So please recycle, people. If
It's
you're
also
drinking
gluten
White Claw.
free.
Is it really?
It's gluten free. If anyone was wondering.
I have people at work all the time. Do you have gluten-free bread? No, we don't. Stop you. No,
We can
I
supply.
don't. I don't hate gluten-free people. I just don't like the idea of things being gluten-free. Gluten is like pasta and stuff, right? Isn't that?
Yeah. Gluten is like wheat, rye, barley.
Yeah. Rip. Did we find where this is from? Is it?
I
just
can't.
not
I can't
happening?
find. Usually, it would say like
Yeah. Usually
Ma-
it has like a.
There's a lot more about it being gluten free than where it's made.
It has ingredients.
Yeah.
2019. Oh, here we go. Chicago, Illinois.
No, not really.
Doing business as White Claw Seltzer Works. Yeah, that's just okay. Yeah, I'm just gonna say Chicago. If anyone in the audience knows where the White Claw is from, please do not hesitate to comment
Yeah.
where White Claw is from.
Let us know.
Yes, we have a lot of shit to talk about.
There's a lot. Not so much. We didn't go really see a movie this week, but there's a lot more to talk about.
Yeah, we didn't. Nothing really came out
Yeah.
that I was.
No, nothing this week.
Like Ready or Not, I think came out, but by Fox. But other than that,
Is that the one where she gets married?
Yes.
I didn't realize that was coming out so soon.
Yeah, I know. I mean, there's been very little marketing for it.
Yeah.
So,
I saw like one trailer for it. I thought it was a decent trailer.
it looked interesting. It was nothing really. I mean, like as you know, I'm not a big fan of horror, but
Yeah.
I mean, I'll go and see it. I need to get ready for it Chapter 2 because I am shitting my pants.
You need to start watching a bunch of other horror movies. You need to get yourself in that mindset.
Because they released the first reactions a couple days ago, and people are like, "Oh, like it's
Oh,
scary,"
really?
and I'm
Really?
like,
Have you?
"Damn it!"
I probably asked this before, but have you seen the first one?
I have seen the first
Yeah,
one,
yeah.
and I enjoyed the first one. There's a couple scenes that really like the projector scene really got me, and it's
Yeah.
not as like I can handle the creepiness of it. It's just like the pop out scares, like that's like,
Yeah.
blah.
It's to me, it was more creepy than a lot of pop out. I mean, like I told you that one scene where he was doing that jig thing.
Yeah,
in
that
the
was-
that
Yeah, that was it was haunting.
dreamt about it for probably a year.
Yeah,
after that.
it was very haunting. So, but needless to say, I'm very excited
Yeah.
for the film. So, but I'm getting ready for them, like mentally, like okay,
Yeah.
okay, it's chapter two.
Looking at yourself in the mirror, getting ready.
I'm getting ready. I'm
Yeah.
dressing up as a clown every day. But we have a lot to talk about. But
We do.
before we get there, how was your week? What's
Not
what's
a bad week.
new?
Not a bad week.
Mhm.
Just the typical depression that comes along with being poor and a poor actor. But hey, I had my first audition.
Here we go. Hey,
in months.
Beautiful.
3 months.
beautiful.
I had my first audition.
Congratulations.
It was pretty good. It was for I don't know what it is. Smart Sheet. I don't
Okay.
know what Smart Sheet is.
I don't know either, but
Either way,
it sounds like it pays good.
it pays all right.
Yeah.
But it was one of those ones that you walk in and there's two lines and they're written on one of those big sheets of paper.
Oh, nice.
And they auditioned 2 people at a time.
Mm-hmm.
One of the lines was,
And I quote,
no longer works here.
That's it.
And the second line was, in a meeting.
That's it.
Yep. And me and this other dude switched on and off between those two lines. He said it, and then I said it. Thank you very much. All right. And then you do the awkward, like, get your phone, put it in your pocket. Well, having a good day. And then the casting director doesn't say anything, and you awkwardly walk out. It's one of those. But I thought I did okay. Like, I kind of understood what they were going for.
Yeah.
Did you ever see like Grand Budapest Hotel?
I have.
And how like they kind of filmed that?
Yeah.
Well, the way that like I was reading the breakdown of the it's like very fast and kind of like supposed to be that sort of, it's supposed to be like a funny commercial, and I can understand, like I was able to read it and I was like, oh, it's kind of like the way they filmed Grand Budapest Hotel. And,
yeah.
I don't know how I'm going to be able to make the connection between Grand Budapest Hotel and a Smart Sheet commercial,
It's
but
okay. It's the small things.
yeah, but I thought I did pretty good. Walked out of there,
Very
know.
nice.
I guess we'll see.
We'll see. Well, congratulations on getting the audition. That's a win in and of itself. You were telling me that you were having some car problems. Ooh.
Yeah,
Here we go.
Yeah. So I was actually pretty lucky to get the car that I have now. Like I said, I only had 80,000 miles on it.
It's a nice car.
And it's a 2008 Nissan Altima.
Hey. Oh.
And like I said, whoever had it last took care of it real well. And then, but it's, it was as is, and I wanted to eventually get it looked at because, getting a car as is could be scary.
Very scary.
So I got it. Finally, I made an appointment and got it checked out, and the guy was like, "Oh, you have." He said everything is running fine. He said like the things that you asked me about were perfectly fine. The brakes were fine, and the shocks were fine. But he's like, you do have like he said an axle tear. I'm not 100% sure on all this stuff. But he showed me. He was like, yeah. Like he showed me all the grease. He said the reason why there's all this grease is because of the axle thing. And then he told me I had a engine oil leak.
Really?
Yeah. So
No bueno.
he said, so I went into the office and there was another guy who was going to quote me on all the parts, and he eventually told me, he said the axle tear part was going to be $550, and the engine oil leak, the part for that is $120. So
That's tough.
yeah,
That's tough.
Yeah, my life savings.
Yeah,
Goodbye.
That's really the bitch of cars. Is when I had my old, I called her the Grey Goose, my old Dodge Avenger. It was pre-owned, and I started off having her at 145,000 miles.
Damn.
And things would happen to it because it was an older car, and it just like it just hits you. It's like a right hook. It's like, hey, like I'm doing good with my finances. Ba-bam!
Yeah.
Car
Yeah.
problems. There are, or like I love when you're going for an oil change. You're like, man, it's only gonna be $30. The guy comes back. He's like, so we got to do $3,000 worth of repairs on your car because, and I'm like, wait, well, I thought it was only gonna be $30. Yeah, about that. So yeah,
He pulls on his shirt.
yeah. And I love these auto shop guys. They're like, well, you don't have to do it, but I strongly recommend you get it done. Like it makes you feel like you you don't have to, but like you might not make it out of here.
It's like, when you're on the freeway, you might need to just be careful. Don't go over 50.
Yeah. So it's always I understand exactly what you're talking about because it's always a pain in the ass.
Like I said, I'm just glad it's not more because I think that's relatively cheap.
Oh yeah,
for a car repair.
I mean,
so
and like I said, you might as well take care of it now while it's at that price point before other things happen, and then you got to end up paying more, and it's like, well, I could have paid less if I taken care of it now. So
yeah, I'm gonna be a little tight for cash this month, but hey, as long as I got it taken care of.
Absolutely, that's the main thing. So all in all, you had a pretty good week. You had an audition, first time in months. You had a little hiccup with the car, but that's okay. Work's been going good.
Work's been fine.
Nice.
Yeah, work's been work.
Yeah, just same old.
I was preparing to fight a gentleman today.
Ooh.
He was one of those edgy ones where I can feel that he was on the brink of like
feel the
complaining.
tension.
He was like,
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Long story, but either way, I
No,
was
of
I was
course.
preparing to
You were about to scrap. You were going to scrap.
throw down.
You were going to scrap.
Yeah,
How you been writing more?
I have. I mean, it's tough trying to like come up with a bunch of stories rather than just focus on one and make it detailed.
Yeah.
So trying to come up with a brand new idea
It's tough. No,
Every-
it's very difficult.
a couple of like every other week is it's kind of like, you know, you're sitting here looking and it's really hard to like all right, what's something that's new that's not like the last one I just had.
Yeah.
So yeah, but I've been writing a lot,
Nice.
which has been it's been pretty good because it's allowed me to actually like explore a little bit more, and it actually helps a lot with acting.
Oh, absolutely. It gets the creative process going, and
Yeah.
For the audience who doesn't know, Matt not only is an actor, he's also a writer. He writes kind of short skits. And I don't want to give away too much because we're going to be doing a lot of producing here in the next year, but we're going to be doing Instagram videos.
At least trying. Yeah, we're gonna be doing something on Instagram.
Yeah, something. Yeah. I don't know if it's gonna be Instagram videos, but it's definitely gonna be Instagram. But something.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
we're still kind of working out the details.
well,
and we're figuring out
Yeah,
what.
we're still we're not gonna completely expose ourselves now because we want it to be a little bit of a surprise. When
Yeah,
it comes
no,
out.
I'm not giving away
Absolutely.
anything. I just want to let you know there is really exciting stuff coming down the line, not only for the Jacob Michael show, but also for Midnight Vibes Productions, and we have a lot of good stuff in the works. So
Yeah.
definitely stay tuned for that because this podcast is really the beginning of, I think, a much bigger media interaction, and I'm really looking forward to it. So.
Yeah, I'm excited.
But I'm glad you had a good week.
So what about you?
Me, it was good. It was good. I had a good week. I saw it's the 40th anniversary of Apocalypse Now, which it's interesting because I know of Apocalypse Now, and I know it was directed by Coppola and all that stuff, but I'd never seen it cover to cover. So when I heard that they were doing like this, final format, the director's cut type thing for the 40th anniversary, and they were playing in the theaters, I was like, okay, I'll go and see it. The runtime of this film is 3 hours and 2 minutes.
Wow.
But it was crazy. I mean, it was just raw Vietnam.
Yeah.
And then so you have Martin Sheen, and then you have Robert Duvall, and then you have Marlon Brando at the end, and young Lawrence Fishburne, and like just watching the greats.
Yeah.
And it's an impeccable film, and if you ever get a chance to, I know that they just released the Blu-ray of Apocalypse Now Final Cut. So if you get a chance to see it, I definitely recommend seeing it, because not only as a character study for an actor with Martin Sheen, but just the way it's filmed is so just like it just blows your mind how they could have gotten away with that in I believe it was 70. They came out in 79.
No.
Because when I was watching it, they have a scene with Harrison Ford, and it's like one scene. So I was like, oh, this must have been like one of his first debuting. But no, so Star Wars A New Hope was 77. This was 79, so he booked it after A New Hope. But it was just really cool to kind of see, and it's like really gritty, and it's like you can tell it's filmed on film, and it has a real grittiness to it and a lot of practicality, and just seeing a film with no digital effects is just it's kind of weird because our brains are now used to seeing CGI and digital stuff.
You can see every crevice of someone's face.
But it's good to kind of like get back to the grittiness, and it's similar to Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, kind of having that real texture to it, and
it gives it that almost, I want to say, Hollywood vibe.
Yeah, absolutely.
The Hollywood touch.
And and like it's a very interesting story too. So I did that.
Did you get to see the regular the movie before you went and actually saw the director's cut?
No, I wanted to go in fresh, but I think Apocalypse Now is on Netflix.
Oh.
Like not the final cut, but the original cut.
Yeah.
So I definitely recommend anyone who who just loves film to go and see it. And so Martin Sheen starred in that one.
Yeah.
There's another one that came out, I believe, in '86 called Platoon, which is Charlie Sheen.
With Charlie Sheen, yeah.
And Johnny Depp, which I want to see that one too because when I told my dad I was going to see Apocalypse Now, he's like, "Oh, is that the one with Charlie Sheen?" I was like, "No, that's the one with Martin Sheen." He grew up with Platoon, and he said that Platoon is excellent. So that's definitely something that I want to see here.
Yeah.
In the next week or so, but. Other than that, I've been working a lot. I saw the Rolling Stones.
Yeah.
They were,
Mick Jagger with Walker.
But it was crazy because, so we got there fairly early because it was at the Rose Bowl, the Rose Bowl in Pasadena, and for those of you who don't know, the Rose Bowl seats about 90,000 people, so there was a lot of people there. I mean, so we got in, and my buddy Richard, he got the tickets. And I found out that he went through like one of those websites where it's kind of like third party. We can like sell and trade tickets and all that.
Yeah.
So we go there and like, we're going, and it's cool because you get in, but before you get to the gate and do all the searching and everything, they kind of have like a festival outside where they're playing the music and the different radio stations are there and they're doing all that stuff. So we did that for a while and kind of saw. Well, then we went to go in and we scanned a ticket and the lady's like, and it's not going through, doo-doo. And we're like, whoa, what's going on? And she's like, it's showing that the ticket has been refunded. And my heart is like,
yeah, right.
Because I'm like, wait, what's going on? So she's like, hey, why don't you go over to, because we were at like gate D, and she's like, well, hey, you need to go over to gate B and go over to will call. Well, that's on all the way on the other side of the stadium. So we walk all the way to the other side of the stadium. We wait in line for about 30 minutes at will call, just for a lady to say, yeah, I'm sorry, these tickets have been refunded. There's nothing you can do.
Wow.
And now, it's getting closer to, and of course they have an opening band, but like it's getting closer to the show. Like now we're like maybe like 45 minutes to the show.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay. So we were going to leave. Like my buddy's like, hey man, I'm so sorry. So I'm like, well, why don't we go and to the tickets and kind of like see how much they're pricing them. Went there, waited there for 30 minutes because I guess it happened to a lot of people.
Wow.
So
how does that even happen?
I don't know. I guess the guy sold my buddy the tickets through the website, but then he asked for a refund on the tickets.
So he basically sold you the tickets and then got a refund.
That's essentially
took the tickets back.
Yeah, so I don't know, but we were able to get tickets and we got in and it was packed and crazy. And Robert Downey Jr. came out.
Yeah,
and he was I guess they named a rock after the Rolling Stones and Mars. I don't know, a big thing, but Robert Downey Jr. came out, and then the Rolling Stones came out, and they just jammed for 2 hours straight. Like it was nonstop rock and roll
until their arthritis kicked in.
Until Mick Jagger had to take a break in the middle because, dude, I think the dude's like 78.
Yeah.
So I'm okay with him. Kind of taking a minute to
breathe,
to regroup.
Yeah.
So I saw the Rolling Stones, and then kind of just doing the networking thing and meeting people and whatnot. Working a lot, serving them pancakes with the huckleberry sauce on top, side of toast, white wheat rice, sourdough English muffin.
Yeah.
That's
someone's order.
Absolutely. So, but no, it's been a really good week, and I'm excited. I think, like, even though I'm not auditioning the way I want to or as frequently as I want to, I think there's a lot of good stuff happening.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. Not only with this show, but in my career in general. So I'm definitely excited about that. But yeah, it's been good. It's been really good, and kind of like planning September. I can't believe it's September already. Like it's
it's made me a little upsetting at the same time because you're like there's the goals the tiny little goals that you made, and like you just kind of crossing some of the ones that you just didn't get to yet, or like the ones that you wanted to be at, and the far-fetched ones are. You just puts you even farther from the bigger goals that you want. But at the same time, it's crazy. Yeah, it is already September.
Yeah, time is just
the summer.
It's flying. Summer's almost.
Yeah,
kids are back in school. Labor Day is next weekend. I'm like, what the hell is going on? Like,
yeah.
But But besides it being a good week, it's been a very, 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 very crazy news week in film.
Yeah.
Not only in film, but also in TV.
A lot of TV stuff.
A lot of TV stuff. First and foremost, I guess we'll start with the good stuff.
Yeah.
And then we'll go to the craziness of Sony and Disney. So I want to talk about D23 because right now D23 is happening. And
a whole lot of announcements are coming out of there.
A whole lot of announcements, but you hear it here first. Next year, we are going to be doing live coverage from D23. So
we're still trying to convince them, but
yeah, we are on the phone with Disney on the daily, telling us to get in. We're gonna have I'm really thinking by next year we're gonna have the media passes, and we're gonna be able to get you more on the ground footage and
hopefully
announcements. But for the meantime, we can only give you what's given to us. So probably the biggest news. Well, you saw the trailer for The Mandalorian.
Yeah, I saw it. I was just kind of scrolling through Instagram and I saw it, and it was. And then we watched it together.
We did.
Yeah.
Before we get into that, are you going to be getting Disney Plus? It's tough. I mean, and we talked about this, I think, last week about how it's getting expensive to see all these.
Yeah. After I saw the announcements, it's really been. It's not that I don't want to.
Well, this is only $6.99.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Huh.
It's only $6.99. So that's.
I might do it.
Yeah.
I mean, because the announcements that have been made after day 23, it looks like a huge, really, really good lineup of shows that
they are pushing this baby so hard.
Yeah.
From The Mandalorian to. Did you see some of the Marvel stuff? I mean,
yeah.
Moon Knight.
Yeah. Moon Knight
and Loki, WandaVision,
She-Hulk.
These are
Miss Marvel.
These are crazy properties that. I mean, I thought because James Gunn, the director of Guardians of the Galaxy, he pitched a Moon Knight movie.
Yeah.
But I'm glad that we're going to be getting a series because I think you can do more character development through a series, and the fact that Disney is doing it makes me so excited. She-Hulk, very excited. I've been waiting for this for such a long time, and the fact that we're getting it is like,
yeah.
But we and then movies, we're getting a lot of Disney movies, and they're bringing I saw that they're bringing back Lizzie McGuire and stuff, so you can tell that they're dishing out money to try to bring back the original.
Yeah.
And I saw a photo of and then they're doing Disney's doing a what if series of what if this happened. So for Captain America, what if Peggy Carter became Captain America? And they showed this picture of all the actors that are coming back, and it's just all the big names, Sam Jackson, Michael Douglas, Sebastian,
really?
yeah, everyone.
Wow. Wow.
So
a lot of people are going to be putting putting work into this. Wow.
And I mean. Look, Disney has Star Wars and Marvel. Just those two properties alone. Just those alone, you're gonna create amazing content. Not only with the Mandalorian, but they just released Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Two of the biggest franchises known.
Yeah.
So movie making.
And on top of that, you have your Disney classics, and now you can do TV shows based off of the Disney.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that alone is going to sell subscriptions.
Yeah.
I'm excited for every single piece of news that came out of D23. I'm not. I mean, I think Disney. I think Netflix is shitting bricks right now after this weekend.
I mean, I'm sure they were shitting bricks months ago. I mean, when NBC and all them, and when they announced the pulling of The Office and Friends,
it's big.
It's huge. I mean, because now they're not the only one. They were the original. Now all of a sudden, it's gonna be broken up.
Exactly.
So audiences are gonna be leaving because Netflix, you really gotta kick off your game with your originals.
I know. So I I really don't know what Netflix is going to do. I know they have these big multi-picture deals with these producers and writers and everything. So I guess we'll see kind of what comes out of the forefront. But
What makes them so bad? Because like I've seen big names and I'm like,
I know there's nothing.
it's still terrible. I don't know.
There's just nothing. There's nothing.
I guess some people just really like bad TV.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like, but I guess if you're Netflix, you have so much money that you just funding everything, you know? I mean, you really don't care because the only positive I guess you can say is that a lot of these projects would never be funded by a big studio. Are able to do it through Netflix. But that shouldn't exclude them from being not good. You know what I'm saying? Like you have a responsibility to do the best product that you can.
Yeah.
But anyways, D23, it looks like a lot of good stuff is coming out. They showed footage from the new The Rise of Skywalker, which looks really good. And then we got all the Marvel news, and then we got a couple like I think like Emma Stone is gonna be playing something. But it looks good. I'm excited. I'm gonna be getting, I'm just a Mandalorian alone is enough for me to subscribe. But and then everything else, yes, I'm gonna be getting that. But
I'm sure in their movies, like the box office movies that they're going to be making, in order to draw people to buy,
they're all going to be connected.
They're going to start connecting the cast. They're going to start connecting the storylines in order
so that
to,
you won't be able to catch up unless you have. It's genius. I mean, Disney. Whatever you think about Disney, they're a genius studio, and they know how to get people in.
Yeah. I mean, it's just gonna make like, well, what happened? Well, you gotta buy D20. You gotta be Disney Plus in order to.
Yep. So but like I said, I'm excited. I'm curious to see what happens. So that's kind of the best news I think that came out of this weekend.
Yeah, all the different announcements that have been coming.
from Mandalorian footage to hearing about the shows and Disney and then Star Wars. So really good stuff.
Yeah, it was like as I was scrolling and I was seeing all these announcements, it was just I just kept scrolling and I was like She-Hulk, Moon Knight, and like Ms. Marvel, and I just kept like
and
scrolling.
It's like, wait, we're doing this? I mean,
Wow.
those are not well-known characters to the average person.
Yeah.
So I'm really curious to see, especially Moon Knight, because Moon Knight is like the Batman of the Marvel universe.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited to see that. We'll kind of. Man, I really don't want to talk about the Disney Sony thing, but well, before we do that, let's talk about The Matrix 4 real fast.
Oh yeah,
Have you ever seen The Matrix?
Yeah, I've seen it.
I have not.
Really? Oh, that's right. You told me this.
But I'm going to see it. I'm going to see it. They're doing a screening on AMC of The Matrix.
Really?
So I might go because if I'm going to see a movie for the first time, I want it to have the theatrical experience. I heard one's the best.
They're all. I mean, yeah, one is the best. It's a lot. It's detailed to shit.
Yeah.
There is so many details. I mean, you've seen Inception, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so think about Inception, just like Keanu Reeves.
Yeah.
So there's a whole lot of details. Great movie. But yeah, like. You're almost exhausted at the end of the movie because you're trying to pay attention to everything.
Yeah, and they're just throwing so much at you.
Yeah.
Well, they just announced that they're going to be doing a Matrix 4 with Keanu Reeves, and so I'm excited. To a point.
Yeah.
I'm excited to a point because, and I've bitched and moaned about this a lot, but I think that Hollywood, we're at an age of bringing things back, remakes. We're in an age of remakes, and we're in an age of remakes and reboots, and am I really glad to see Keanu come back in The Matrix? Yes. Would I'd rather have an original script? Yes. But like I said, reboots are making a shit ton of money, so why not do it?
Yeah.
I have to see all three of the Matrix movies, I guess, and I want to see them. So as soon as I see the Matrix, we'll come back to this and talk about my thoughts on the Matrix and moving forward. But The main thing that happened this week was it. Okay, so we'll break it down for those of you who don't know. Marvel, before they started making all the money in their movies, they were gonna go bankrupt in the 90s. So they sold off a lot of their characters to different studios. So, like, Universal owns The Incredible Hulk, and Fox owned the X-Men and Deadpool, and Ghost Rider, and Sony owned Spider-Man and all the characters associated
And there
with
has
Spider-Man.
been an issue between
And
Disney
so
and Sony.
and there's an issue between Disney and Sony. So Disney thus created the MCU that we know and love. Sony owned Spider-Man. Disney and Sony created a 5-picture movie deal with Tom Holland playing Spider-Man. Hence, where you got him in Civil War, Infinity War, Endgame, and then the 2 solo Spider-Man.
Yeah,
movies.
they created a deal that way they can he can enter the MCU, and that way a storyline could be formed.
Exactly, and you get to see Spider-Man interacting with all the other Marvel characters.
Yeah.
And say what you want about Tom Holland and say what you want about his Spider-Man. It's been really enjoyable.
They were good Spider-Man.
They were good Spider-Mans. They were authentic Spider-Mans to the comics.
Yeah.
The interplay between Tony and Peter is incredible.
Yeah.
And I think
the
that
father kind of son relationship.
Yep, the father son. So seeing him kind of be in the Infinity War saga has been great. From what it looks like today, it looks like that is no mas. It looks like that's no more because after the 5-deal movie contract, Disney went back to the table and was like, "Hey, we want more." I'm not getting, I don't want to get into like specifics of it, but now Disney is asking for 50-50 and Sony's like, no, it's not.
The deal that they already made was that in order for Spider-Man to come into the MCU, they wanted Sony would finance the movies, right?
Yep.
Sony
Which
would
is millions of dollars.
But Disney would only get 5% of the first day ticket sales.
Yep.
So that was their original deal.
Plus merchandise.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Plus merchandise, which is huge.
And if you don't know about merchandise is action figures, Legos, backpacks, lunch boxes,
Anything.
coloring books, cards, trading cards. I mean, the food. All the food stuff.
They put them on boxes, cheeses, stuff like that. Yeah,
it's insane. And I read that sometimes the merchandise is even more than the whole theatrical run.
Of course, yeah.
So Disney is making that plus 5% of first day ticket sales, which is not low.
That's not a bad deal. In a way, that makes it almost 50-50.
So now Disney comes back, and I want to break down kind of the two perspectives because I think people are quickly going to one side or the other.
Yeah.
Like, oh, Disney is greedy. If it wasn't for the MCU, Spider-Man would not be making $1 billion at the box office. I think that's pretty fair to say.
Yeah.
Because Far From Home reached over $1 billion and worldwide, and it's the highest grossing Sony movie, passing Skyfall or Spectre. Skyfall, I think.
Yeah.
So so looking at it from Disney's perspective, Disney goes, "Hey, Sony, you wouldn't be making the money you're making if it wasn't for our universe. We want to be paid more." I completely understand that. I mean, I understand, but
yeah, I mean, it makes sense. Yeah,
but 50-50, like 50-50.
Yeah, the deal that they proposed was to get. They were going to finance 50% and get 50% of sales
and keep the merchandise, which I think is insane because that's more than 50%.
Keeping merchandise is what made it an insult to me.
Yeah, and Sony goes, "Well, f you," like that's absurd, which it is. And Sony, and now we look at it from Sony's perspective. Sony created Venom without Kevin Feige or anyone producing, and that made over 800 million globally. Sony also has Into the Spider-Verse that made a lot of money. Won an award for screenplay.
It was a good movie. Yeah.
And they also have Lord and Miller creating their own production company at Sony and taking over the Spider-Man brand.
Yeah.
So, in a sense, I think Sony right now is thinking, hey, like, we really don't need Spider-Man. Or I'm sorry, we really don't need Disney.
I was gonna say.
No, I'm sorry. No, we
Yeah.
really don't need Disney to help us with Spider-Man. It seems like we have our own thing going.
Yeah.
I don't think that's true. I think
it's it's kind of like what you said. Like it Disney's MCU kind of put Spider-Man back onto track.
I think the MCU is a big part of why people go to see Spider-Man, because I personally don't think that Spider-Man is that strong of a character. I'm not saying he's not played well. I'm not saying that he's not an interesting character. I just don't think I think he's a very small sliver of the MCU, but a very enjoyable. And what Disney did is make him a focal point in the series.
Yeah.
What I don't understand is because obviously Sony still wants to use Tom Holland, but how can you create a Spider-Man movie and not reference Iron Man?
Yeah.
Unless it's like, what I heard from sources is that for Venom, they filmed a scene with Tom Holland.
And right now you're talking about if Sony no longer needed Disney, no longer wanted Spider-Man in the MCU.
But during the contract, they filmed a scene with Tom Holland during Venom.
Yeah.
And Disney saw it, and Disney was like, no, take that out. Like, we don't want our quotation mark, our Spider-Man being associated with Venom.
Really?
So I'm curious to see kind of what this 5-year journey has been, because it seems like Marvel had their plans for Spider-Man, and then Sony is having their plans with Spider-Man. And what it seems like is we're at the point where those two visions aren't matching up.
Yeah.
So, and from the way it sounds, Sony not coming back with a counteroffer, it sounds like Sony has been thinking about their own plan for a while now.
Yeah.
So when Disney came with them, Sony was like, you know what, screw it. Like, we have our own shit going on. We have our own plan.
Because they can do that.
Because
in a way, they can't. They both have a dangling. They both can say, like, listen, like, we got the whole MCU going on, and Disney and Sony can be like, we own Spider-Man.
Exactly. Exactly. But I want to spoilers for Far From Home. So spoilers in 3, 2,
if you haven't seen it already.
If you haven't seen it already.
Come on.
The very end of Far From Home is a cliffhanger.
That's what I was saying. Like, what are we gonna do with this? Is that just gonna be a?
So now I'm thinking, are they not even gonna? You just can't. So if you're gonna continue Phase 4 of the MCU, you're just not even gonna reference that. Is that gonna be like is that a dead end storyline?
Anybody seeing it from now on is just like
it's like you're driving. It's like you're driving, and you're like, oh, there's no more road.
Yep.
Like, and I know.
It's a huge cliffhanger too.
It is a huge cliffhanger, and I know that the MCU is going more galactic with the Eternals, and
I mean, they're coming out with more Guardians of the Galaxy stuff.
Yeah.
Right?
So I know that they're going very cosmic, but it was a thread. It was a thread in the MCU that now I don't think we'll ever get to see come into fruition, which is sad, because I thought that they were gonna.
I mean, like, we were talking about this yesterday. I mean, like, come on. I mean, like, when you get money, I mean, I guess we can't be surprised about this.
Absolutely not.
But you wouldn't have the success you had without your fans.
Exactly.
You wouldn't have any of it without the support of us.
Yeah, and
so you're gonna throw that away. You're gonna throw away a story and a whole bunch of other stories that could have come out of it, possibly, that would have given people just an escape from every day, an enjoyable. What a time for these two companies. You're gonna throw that away because you wanted a little bit more money first of all, Disney could have got from anywhere, now owning 60% of the entire of all media, and Sony because too stubborn, I guess, in a way.
Yeah.
but it's aggravating.
It's very sad. It's very sad. And at the end of the day, this is show business.
Yeah.
And the business does come before the show. And it's sad because the fans suffer for it.
Yeah.
You know, the
Yeah.
fans really do. And the creators suffer because big business gets in the way. But I don't think this is over yet. Kevin Feige and Tom Holland at D23 both made comments saying, you know, this was we enjoyed the time we had, but it was never going to be forever and this and that. So I don't know. It sounds like it's done, but you never know. I mean, they could renegotiate.
Yeah.
I think this hurts Sony more than it hurts Disney.
Oh yeah, yeah. No,
You
I
know.
mean Disney could take a huge hit and still be perfectly fine.
I mean, look, even if you do the deal that Disney wants, so now instead of paying 200 million or 175 or 150 million for Spider-Man, you're only paying under a million or under 100 million.
Mm-hmm.
And if the film grosses 1.2 billion, you're still making over 500 million.
Yeah.
You're still in the green. So even
Yeah,
but
you're still
now it's all about ego. It's an
That's
ego
true.
thing.
Yeah.
So.
And so I asked you this yesterday. What if Sony were to come back with a counter offer, what would you think would be a decent counter? What would be a fair offer in your opinion?
I think a fair offer would be, okay, Disney, you can co-finance the films, you can keep the marketing, but you only get 20% of first day ticket sales.
Okay.
Or 20 to 25.
Yeah.
And that's even high. But I think that's fair.
What I would have done, what I think would have been, is keep everything the same except for 5% of first day ticket sales, 5% of all ticket sales. To me, that would have been pretty much the same deal, but Disney's still profiting a lot from that. And that's a lot.
If I was Sony, I'd just sell Spider-Man for $4 billion. And just call it a day. Like, you know what? You want them $4 billion. You paid George Lucas $4 billion.
Yeah.
We'll you know.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I just think what Disney is doing right now is they are trying to have it be under one umbrella. Buying Fox, having the X-Men and Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
You know, and having the Hulk, so you can tell that there's an agenda.
Mm-hmm.
You know, maybe Spider-Man. You know, maybe this was the time that we got Spider-Man because now they have all the Fox characters. So now they have Fantastic Four and X-Men. So they really don't need Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And all the other characters that we haven't even. You know, I mean, look at like the stuff they announced: Moon Knight and She-Hulk. I mean, you can start looking at the B, C, and D list superhero films.
Yeah.
Because you know. Before Guardians of the Galaxy, nobody knew who the Guardians of the Galaxy were.
Yeah. And
But-
then they became suddenly an A-list
And-
almost superhero.
and now they're a household
Super-
name.
Yeah.
So I really don't. I think at the end of the day, it sucks. But Disney will go. We have other characters, you know. So
Yeah.
it really now, if anything, it hurts the Spider-Man brand because I don't know if Disney can make a good Tom Holland Spider-Man film. Then again, I don't know what you would do with a standalone Spider-Man film. Like, I don't know. I mean, you have great characters. Like, granted, you have great characters, like from the Sinister Six, but
Yeah.
the heart of at least Far From Home was the aftermath of Endgame.
Mm-hmm.
So it really wasn't even about Spider-Man. Spider-Man was just a small part of it.
Yeah.
So, you know, I mean, we'll see what happens. I think personally we're not going to get Spider-Man back in the MCU. I could be wrong.
To me, there's been a lot of stuff like this. I can't really come up with examples right off the top of my head, but there's been stuff like this all the time, and they always somehow find a way.
Yeah, and I mean, you know, like I said, I think that the MCU isn't going to suffer by not having Spider-Man. You know, I mean, I think they just announced that Kit Harington is going to be in the Eternals from Game of Thrones. So like they keep having A-list people come in and they keep throwing new characters. So you can tell that the MCU is a juggernaut, and you can
Yeah.
tell that you either play ball or don't play at all.
Yeah.
So with that in mind, I have faith in Lord and Miller as well, and if they have some good ideas for Spider-Man, okay. Because at the end of the day, we just want to see a good movie.
Yeah.
So what upsets me is that the money comes before the content or the character.
Which aggravates me beyond belief.
It's
Because
upsetting.
when you're Disney, you really, in a way, I'm like, why are you asking for more money?
Because
Why?
I can.
Yeah.
'Cause they
You said yesterday the joke. It's like, screw it, buy Sony.
Yeah, Disney's gonna be like, you know what? Screw this. We're just gonna buy Sony, and they could, but
Yeah.
I
We can buy you.
I mean, at least give them, at least do one more. Like, at least give them that last film. So
Yeah, I
that they
mean,
can.
sum up the cliffhanger.
Yeah, and I'm like, you can sum it up where so okay, this is how I would like to see Spider-Man go. I would like to see whatever third act happens, and then Spider-Man. So like at the very end, they're like, you know what, we want you to be, after the spoilers for Endgame, the death of Tony Stark. We want you to fill that role, and we want, and continue that kind of thing of like, okay, we want you part of the team. And it's just like Peter Parker goes, I'm good in New York. Like, I'm good being the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. And at least there, you kind of tie the bow, and it's like, okay, in the MCU, we know where Spider-Man is. We know where he's at. He doesn't have to appear in the movies, but we know in continuity he's in New York.
Yeah.
Instead of right now, it's you're on the edge of your seat going, well, what's going to happen? Instead of, this is where Peter is and this is what he's doing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, and we're gonna be keeping up with that. Speaking of Tom Holland, he got cast, I think, a year ago to be Nathan Drake in the Uncharted film.
Really?
So, Uncharted is a
Really?
film. Yep. So Uncharted is a series on PlayStation from Naughty Dog. We go to acting class with one of the kid of one of the actors who is always actors. That's really cool.
The man, Nolan North.
Yeah, Nolan North.
It voices Nathan Drake, and
Yep.
his son is in our acting class.
Yep. So
Shout out to you, Cooper.
yes. So
If you ever listen, we love you.
we
But to me, that doesn't make sense.
so this movie has been through like 4 directors.
Yeah, I saw. Yeah,
It's
I saw
not,
that.
and I joked and I texted Cooper once I heard the news. I was like, "Oh, here we go again," and Cooper
Yeah.
just laughed because the movie is never gonna. I heard the movie is in production hell or pre-production hell.
Yeah,
I would have not cast Tom Holland as Nathan Drake.
that's what I'm saying. That doesn't make any sense to me.
It's unless,
Zero.
and I understand that they
Tom-
want to do a younger one, but it just doesn't even calculate.
Hardy, to me, when I think of Nathan Drake, Hardy.
Tom Hardy.
Yeah, Tom Hardy immediately comes to mind. Like a million people other than Tom Holland comes to mind.
Chris Pine would be really good.
Chris Pine.
Chris Pine would be really good.
Anybody other than Tom Holland. Tom Holland doesn't, to me, is not a. Yeah.
Well, Sony. So it's a Sony.
Oh no.
That's why. Well, that's why it's a Sony. it's a Sony. It's a Sony. Back thing. So they have with Tom Holland, but needless to say, this is the world we live in. It doesn't come out next week, right? It comes out.
It's a September movie.
Can you
right?
look and see when it is, because I'm not ready.
There was a question I was going to ask, and I forgot
Oh boy.
the question.
Oh boy. I just want to see when It Chapter 2 comes out so that I can mentally prepare myself,
2019.
because It Chapter 2 looks scary.
Release dates.
I want to do a couple.
September 6th, 2019.
Oh man. So
Wow.
So not this week, but next week. Okay. I can
Yeah.
mentally prepare.
You can.
So, I want to do a couple shout outs. Shout out to Collider Live. I watch you guys every day, and hopefully we'd love to be on your show. And I want to shout out to my grandma who's listening. Grandma O, you've been religiously watching or listening to 3 episodes, and we appreciate that.
Donka.
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 But yeah, I mean, other than that, anyone you want to shout out?
No.
No, I know. It's tough.
Everyone.
Yeah, we want to continually thank you for listening, and we want to thank you for your patience as we figure out what the Jacob Michael Show is and what its goal is and where we want to do with it. But I promise you, we are thinking long and hard on giving you the best content possible. So
if it's good the way it is, we can keep doing this.
Absolutely. So and we love feedback. So if you have feedback, please don't feel free to contact us or leave a comment because we want to make the show better. So and we're doing research on our end to make the show better, making contacts. So as always, we want to thank you for listening. Matt, thank you for being a badass co-host, and I really enjoyed talking to you, and we will see y'all next week. Bye-bye.